everyone, welcome back to my channel, and this is a bit of an extra impromptu video. I just watched Jaclyn Hill's matte versus highlight video, and I heard her on Snapchat. She was saying, yeah, it would be probably nice to make it a tag, or like what people, or like hear what people's experiences are, because she claimed it was a revelation for her on how she actually likes her makeup. And since I'm a matte girl, I love everything matte, I have combination oily skin, I wanted to try out doing my makeup a little bit differently and do half of my face matte and half of my face highlighted. And that means glowy skin, highlight on one side, a gloss, and shimmery eyeshadow, and all matte look on the other. I actually recently did an all matte 70s inspired look using the Subculture palette because someone actually asked me for it, and I thought it was a great idea. But let's get started then. This side will be my matte side, this side will be my highlighty side, and I'm gonna start with primer. This is the Kiko Matte Face Base. This is my favorite, I use it all the time. And I'm going to apply a small amount on half of my face, if I manage. The nose is the most difficult bit. For my glowy side, I'm going to use the Glam Glow Started in Nude Glow. It's a mega illuminating moisturizer, and I've actually really liked this in the past to use this summer as a moisturizer, but it also has a beautiful sheen. Can you see the difference already? It's a beautiful, beautiful sheen. I, as you can see, already have my brows done, and I have primed my eyes, because that doesn't really change whether it, I don't know about a shimmery brow, but that's not usually a thing. The problem came around when I had to pick a foundation, because I don't have glowy foundations. Why would I buy one when I would never wear it? So I'm going to use my Maybelline Infallible 24-Hour Matte Foundation on my matte side. And this is one of my favorite foundations ever. It keeps me matte very, very well. So I have it in 2 different shades. And as I mentioned, I would never buy a glowy foundation by myself. And I didn't find any samples in my makeup bag, so it is what it is. And for my highlighted side, I am going to mix into the foundation some of this Becca Shimmery Skin Perfector in Moonstone, I believe. Yeah, so on my hand I'm gonna put the foundation and the highlighter and mix them together. And hopefully this will give me a glowy foundation. I'm not really sure, but we can hope. Okay, so far I'm not sure I can see a difference in the foundation, but it is what it is. I didn't have any option for that matter. For concealer, I'm just gonna use the same. This is the Colourpop concealer, and I like it. I'm just going to use the same concealer on both sides. I am almost sad I don't have any glowy foundation. It's funny. It's just never really crossed my mind. But while watching her video, I actually found it quite interesting how, yeah, you can actually change your mind if you never tried a different type of makeup than what you use all the time. Can we still see a difference? I'm not sure. I'm not so sure. Now, one of the more important things is gonna be setting, and for my matte side, I'm going to be using my Neve Cosmetics Hollywood powder. This is a translucent mattifying powder. Just pouring it in a little cap and setting it all over my face. And that is the biggest effect I find. Here we go. Yeah, definitely you lose any shine that the foundation had, you lose with this powder. For my highlighted side, instead, I'm going to use this Bare Minerals Duo. There's a matte and a glowy powder, and the glowy powder should be similar to the hourglass ones, and I'm gonna try to use that to set my face and see how it works. I can actually see a difference here. Can you see how much more shiny this side is compared to this? I'm not mad about it. I'm not mad about it. Then let's move on with eyes, shall we? I am going to use the Anastasia Beverly Hills Modern Renaissance because it's a nice neutral palette with all the shades. For my matte side, I'm going in with the shade Tempera and setting my whole eye, including the brow bone, for a matte highlight. And then for the highlight side, I'm gonna skip this bit and highlight my brow bone afterwards. But I always actually like to set my eye with something matte so that I can then decide how much shimmer to put in it. For both sides, I'm going to go in burnt orange for my transition, because yeah, transition just shouldn't be shimmery. I have hooded eyes. If you do a shimmery transition, it will just add more emphasis to the fact that you have hooded eyes, or to the hood part, whereas you want it to recede. So actually that's a good point. Corrective makeup, the one that you use to actually shape your face and to correct things that you might not like for me, my hooded and downturned eyes, that should always be matte. And here we go. I am then going to take the shade Cypress Amber. It's a matte brown, and put it on my outer corner on both sides, because that's also something that I would wear matte. And by the way, have you guys ever tried this Anastasia brush? It's not, like, the fluffy side is not my favorite, but this small size is really great to apply concentrated color. Now on my matte side, I'm going to take Tempera again, which is this matte cream, and put it all over my inner corner and eyelid to, let's say, naturally highlight the area. And then for the other side, I'm going to take Vermeer, which is a shimmery pale color. And boom, look at the difference. So this is the first thing that I actually do, even though I like everything matte, is to put a shimmer shade on my eyelid. It just gives such a big difference when it comes to payoff and attention to the eyelid. Here we go. What do you guys think for the eyes? I'm gonna put some mascara and kohl liner off camera and be right back. And I finished my eyes using a little bit of the shimmery shade on my brow bone on the highlighted side. Woo. I haven't used shimmery brow bone highlight in a long time. And then a little bit of the matte again on this side, even though it looks quite good already. Here we are, inner corner. And I finished my lower lash line and mascara. Also tip, I did my brows before my powder and they were all very ashy from the powder. So I put some brow gel on top to make it dark again. So far, actually, I looked myself closer. The glowy side, my pores are way more visible. I think it's the powder, and my matte side looks way, way better. Moving on to bronzer, I'm going to take this Colourpop matte bronzer. The shade is Afternoon Delight. For my matte side, it's a nice medium bronzer shade. I like it. It's in my monthly rotation now. If you haven't seen that video, I will link it now above. And I just really like it. It's a matte bronzer. It works. And for my highlighty side, I'm gonna use the Body Shop shimmering bronzing pearls. They are gorgeous. They're one of my favorite things to use in summer because they give you such a beautiful, glowy, bronzy look. The shade is a little bit more warm toned, and they do have a nice sheen to them. Then you would normally move on to highlight, like actual highlight. For the matte side, what I'm gonna do is set my under eye and cheekbone area further with a matte highlighty shade, and this is Banana by Anastasia Beverly Hills. It's not particularly lighter than my skin tone, let's say, but it is a matte yellow shade that is supposed to be highlighting. I don't know how much of an effect it does, because the actual highlight happens when you put Becca Moonstone on the highlight side. There we go. It's beautiful. Actually, let me do better. I'm gonna take it on my brush and spray it with Fix Plus, and this is gonna make it pop. And yes, I am going a little bit overboard. I mean, look at that eyebrow highlight. Have you ever seen me with that before? Not really. And half of my Cupid's bow on this side. And that's about it for me for highlight. Woo, looks very wet. Moving on to blush, I'm going to take the Makeup Forever blush that I have in this little compact. I was planning on showing you the haul of this before this video, but it came up just so fast that I decided to just go for it and do this video, edit it super fast and put it up for you guys. So this is a matte blush. Whereas for my highlighted side, I'm going to go in with this Max Factor blush in Alluring Rose, and it's a baked blush with some shimmery veins in there. And this is going a little bit overboard, I must say. Like, I've never seen so many pores in one time, people. Yeah. I think we look pretty different. I am going to do my lips with Anastasia Beverly Hills liquid lipstick in Ashton all over. And let this dry a little bit. In the meantime, maybe I can zoom you guys in and see if you can see my skin a little bit better. I don't know if you guys can see the difference. The light kind of changes a little bit, so zoomed in, but look at this highlight. And especially here, my pores are pretty visible, and here a bit less. This has a much more matte finish, and my eyebrow highlight is just ridiculous. I'm sorry if I'm looking that way, but that's where my monitor is, so I can see it better. And yeah, these are the eyes. I must say that except for the brow bone highlight, I do prefer the shimmery eye. That's always been my preference anyways. Ooh, and the color balance is back. Now that my lip has dried, I'm going to use not only a gloss, but a glittery gloss, because I want to be extra. I'm going to use Colourpop for Hello Kitty gloss in Katie. This has golden glitter in it on my highlighty side. And here we go. My highlighty side versus my matte side. Whether I've learned something about my makeup, I'm not so sure. So one thing I know for sure, I do like the skin in the more matte finish compared to the glowy finish. I find that the texture on my skin is quite highlighted on the highlighty side of things, and I honestly cannot stand this shimmery brow bone. It just makes me cringe. See the difference? See the difference? Yeah, just not good. The eyes, as I mentioned, I prefer the eyeshadow on the highlighted side, and that's simply because I like highlighted inner corner and eyelids. I do miss a little bit of a sheen on this side. I wouldn't do it as extreme as this, but I would like a little bit of a sheen here. And I do like my Cupid's bow highlighted. I think it just changes the dimension of your lips. And for the gloss or no gloss, I don't know. I like both finishes, to be honest, on me. And it's just different. I don't know what to say. I like them both. Let me know what your thoughts are down below. I encourage you to try this. It's actually interesting to give a go to the opposite thing that you would like. So if you're a matte girl, matte foundation person, try something glowy, see how you feel about it. And if you always wear glowy, try the matte. And then of course, the best will always be in between, because the Latins even said, in media stat virtus, in the middle is the best, in the middle is a virtue, let's say. And as I mentioned, a few exchanges between the sides would be good, and sometimes it doesn't matter, as in the case of the lips. If you feel like it, give it a try, tag me if you do. It's quite a fun challenge to do. I'm gonna try to fix this and continue filming for you guys. And yeah, I will see you in the next video. Don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you aren't already. And yeah, goodbye.